Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the workbench here. Tonight we are going to continue our project of the twin $10 kit bash slash scratch build. But before we do, I want to start where we left off last time, and I want to reveal the outcome of the pilings that I did in the last video. I have not unwrapped these yet, so let's just unwrap them and see what we got here. Let's zoom in on this so you guys can see them. Look at the color that came out between the black and the brown. It has some gray in there. So when we cut these up, you'll have a variety in there. I'm actually very pleased with the way they came out. Pretty awesome. If I wanted to, I could probably do kind of a light gray wash on them, but I'm not going to. These came out pretty darn good. You see the silver in there. And that's all from the charcoal black, the creosote black stain from Hunterline that gave it its look. I used brown stain, and I used charcoal black. The wood is what actually did the work. It absorbed and mixed and combined the colors so well. They came out pretty darn good. I like that. So these will be set aside, and they will be used for the pilings for Waymans and everything. And then I also managed to get my trim for Waymans done. So I'll be working on that over this next week. I'll be able to get the trim on that building and be done with it. The Tibet's Bakery and Cafe is done. I was looking at it and it looks pretty good. It's enough. I might add some signage to it. I have to add the name of the place to these structures, but I might also do maybe some very tiny advertisements on the wall, which won't be hard to add. Same thing with the Ronnie's repair is going to be Riverfront Supply. And that's a general supply. It has a little bit of everything. So that's what that is doing. And then what I wanted to do tonight is I wanted to do a couple of windows. I'm not installing the acetate on the back tonight. I'm just going to install these three for these three windows, and then I will install everything over this next week into both of these and these. I admit, on one of the walls here, I kind of boogered it up. So, um, it's on this one here. Kind of boogered it up, but I'm gonna run with it. Because when I landscape this, I might put hedges on the outside of this building. I have no idea, but I should be able to coin the phrase "high wabbit," which, for those of you who do not know what high wab is it's abbreviated for "hide it with a bush." I will go as far as changing it high wad. Hide it with a detail. Just so that it can have that. So with that, I'm going to move one of these aside. And we're just going to go and just do these windows and then see how they come out. And then I'll show you what the building is going to look like before we do this, because I don't want to monkey with it when the windows are still drying. I'm going to show you an overall of what the building is going to look like when assembled, just to kind of give you an idea. So I'm going to just kind of brace this up. Of course, now you don't want to do it. It's being a stinker. Well, for now, it's being a pain in the butt. All right. Stay. All right, so then we're going to put it up like this. And then we're going to put the window right over here. So let me bring the camera down so you can see it as a frontal view. So there is the building. You have this side here, and then you have the interior, or the other wall butted up to it. There we go. So we have this front wall, and then on either side you have that wall, and then obviously, if you can picture it, you're going to have this wall on the back, with this being on the opposite side. So this is kind of like, almost, you could use it as a two building structure, like, you know, in a sense, but I don't know. We'll see. So then you're going to have the roof line here, and then the roof line here, and then on top you're going to have a squared off rooftop which will actually meet up with this seam here. And I'm going to do a kind of a flat top roof in a sense. So it'll be kind of like actually more of a rectangle, not a square. But I'm going to do kind of one of those tall roof top ledges, like a ledge on the top, and then we're going to bring up tar paper for roll roofing, but I'm going to do it a little different. I got some actual, I'm going to try it with sandpaper. I got some really fine stuff that might work. I'm going to look at it. If it doesn't work, then I'm just going to go with just black tar paper for what I'm going to do. So that's kind of the direction we're going with this build. What it's going to be is yet to be known, but that's the direction of this build. Just to kind of give you an idea. So let's go real quick, or see if we can do this fairly quickly, and see if we can get these windows in. Again, I am not doing the acetate to these tonight. I'm just doing the front of the window. By the way, I want to show you how white. See how white these things are? I got them pretty good. So, okay. So, I also want to let you know that these were a little bit of rigid here, and they still are. So I went ahead and I actually added more support on the backs on the seams. Yeah, it might be a little overkill, but I'd rather have it protected than not. All right, so first things first. We are going to install one by one these three. And how I do it is I use a toothpick. And this is the way I do it. I'm not sure how you guys do it. Being in scale is a lot finer. I just decided, I just take, being in scale is smaller. I just coat the whole back of the, window. Because this is going to sit on the windows on the body of the building, and it's going to have enough for the window pane on the inside. And that's why I like doing it this way. I dab it on, and then I do this. I'll bring this right here. So what I'll do is I will take this, I will apply it where I want it to be. And if you get a little bit of glue on the body, it's okay. It all comes off. So now that I have that window in there, for the frame in there, I'm going to take the window and I am going to put it, I'm going to take the window and put it in on the back side. And that's why I have a secondary toothpick, because that will help me put it in. And sometimes what I will do is I will come up and I'll grab my tweezers, which I use more times than not. And I'll put it right in the window, just like that. And then I'll just put a little bit of pressure. It actually works better with the tweezers, believe it or not. And just run it around. And then I just bring it around and I look at it. Okay, well that doesn't look very good. So then I take the front and I'm able to apply it. And move it around just ever so. Now remember, I still got to put the window seal on here. The and I painted those green. So like the window, so this window frame is green. The seal is green. But now that I'm looking at it, it might, I think white will be better. I'll have to play with it, see. But I like them both ways, really. But I don't have any set plans for this building. It's just a scratch build, something I'm doing on just out of the blue. So what I do with the excess glue is I just kind of scrape it away before it gets too dry. And I don't worry about scratching up the paint a little bit, because the paint, that's just going to make it show a little wear. Okay, there's the first one. And the first one's always the pain, because you got every kit different when you try to apply them. So let's go on to the next one. Oops. Okay, so let's go to number 2. And once you do these a couple times, they go pretty quick. So when you have to do like my farm, the dairy farm I did, they went pretty quick. If you are new to the channel, you should go back through and check all the videos I've done. I've done some train videos, stuff that I've done, and stuff like that. So you'll be able to see. I'm still learning how to link those in so um, we'll get it eventually. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the window where I want it. This just helps preventing extra movement on the building. All right, which didn't really work that time either. So sometimes that happens. It's best to just roll with it. Don't get frustrated, because then you're going to want to overcorrect and do things. So with that, I'm going to get the other window in. Sorry guys, this thing's being a booger tonight. But this is typically how I install my windows. All right, that went in. All right, get this fitted in there. That's not too far off. All right, now I just take my toothpick and while the glue's still wet, rub it off. I'll have to go through later and touch it up, but that's how I install my windows. Um, I'll go back through and do touch up and get everything done this week, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I did. But yeah, that's how they're looking. I'm gonna do this other one real quick, and then we'll wrap it up for the night. But I just wanted you to see what I do, how I do it. And once I get in a groove, I usually can get them laid in pretty quickly. But it never fails. Every time I do this on camera, they always want to act up. It never fails. Something wants to go awry, usually. And that's not too bad. All right, we'll get this straightened out, and I'll show you where I'm going to stop for tonight, where it looks like. I'm going to probably go, I think I'm going to go back through and paint. I have the window sills the same color. And I don't know why I did that, but I think it's going to look a little better if I make them white, I guess, because then the white will stand out against the gray and the white. But so typically I will go through and I will clean all the windows up. Whatever reason, I always get glue and everything, and then I'll do touch up, and then the last thing I do is I will put the acetate on along with the window seal. But I know I didn't do these perfect, and of course aged buildings aren't perfect, so in a sense I did things right, perfectly right, even though it doesn't look right. It's meant not to look right because it has age. But yeah. So anyway, here is the wall. Windows are still not my favorite thing to do. They are a necessity. And I am still perfecting my skill at them. So, you know, it is what it is. And there you have it. The green trim. There's the green trim around the windows. The windows are in. The glass will be the last thing. Will be one of the last things that go in before I do the actual window sills. And then I have the doors. But we're gonna stop. This is where we're stopping for the day. These all are coming together. Gives you kind of an idea of how this scratch build, scratch batch build is coming along. So over this next week, I'll get the windows in on these, and then next week we'll get the building actually put together, and then maybe start. By then I'll have the layout of what I'm doing for the upper roof, and kind of go over that. And I'll be able to show you Waymans is hopefully will be complete by then. I got to do the pylons. I got to use these pylons to do the eave work on here. But other than that, things are looking pretty good. So with that, we'll call it a wrap this week. I hope to see you guys back here next Thursday for the next video for this project. But until then, I will talk to you guys later. Have a safe week. And we will see you next Thursday.